Hey guys, hey, welcome back to my channel. This is my channel, BlackMomAbroad. Hi guys, what's up? What's up? My name is Tony, and for those of you that do not know, I recently quit my toxic 9 to 5. I packed up myself and my twin daughters, and I moved to Mexico, obtained my 4-year residency, and I have not looked back since. Okay? I coach single black mothers, black women, period, who may be stuck, get out of their own heads, and consider moving abroad. I say all the time, moving abroad has given me a lot of my time back. And the one thing I feel like all black women need, but especially single black mothers, is more time. It's more time. So get in here. Let's talk. Let's talk. So I want to say this. I've been getting a lot of comments or statements that pretty much say why should I listen to you? What makes you the expert? You just got there. And I think that when people say things like that, I think that they feel like it gets underneath my skin. But quite frankly, it does the exact opposite, right? I encourage questions like this because I think it's a good question. It's an amazing question. And so partly the reason why I'm here is to answer that question for you. You know what I'm saying? I want to address that statement. I will never take anything away from people who have 5 years in a game, 2 years in a game, 5 years in a game, 10 years in a game, people who have moved from country to country to country, people who have done this many times before. The wealth of knowledge that they have is absolutely amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. But what I learned about people who are experts, they only speak expert language. They only speak expert language. They have been doing it for so long, and they are so well versed that they forget that not everybody is an expert, and not everybody can understand your expert jargon, if you understand what I mean, right? So for my situation, I reached out to an expert, and I'm not gonna lie, many of the information that I received went right over my head. I wasn't ready to receive it. I was nowhere near ready to receive that amount of information. I hadn't started at step 1. So why do I need an expert? I think that the allure of going to an expert is there, right? But sometimes experts have a difficulty in meeting you where you are. So it's like this. I'm going to try to give an example. If a computer was an expert, that means somebody has typed in 10 years of knowledge. It has all this amount of knowledge, all this amount of information. And somebody comes to sell you that computer. We're not going to look at it as oh my, it has all this information. We're going to look at it like the software is outdated. The words are outdated. The jargon, the things that they are saying is no longer, I can't think of the word. I keep saying outdated, but y'all know what I mean, right? And so I will say this. It is okay to start at ground zero. And just because you don't have a lot of years under your belt, or just because you haven't moved to 5 different countries in the last 2 years, does not mean that your information is not valuable. It's the exact opposite. Your information is not valuable for another person who's moved 5 times and want to know specifically how to cross this border to this border. Then your information may not be valuable. But to a woman who is just starting out and does not know the first step, you're very valuable. You are the value because you just did it. You just did it. You just did it. So, for example, I was talking to an expat, and this was a little bit ago. Forgive the ruses. I was talking to an expat, and I noticed that anytime they would talk about money, like they were off. Well, this expert was still using the conversion rates from 2018 because that's what was programmed in their head. And so when I started to do the math, and they were like, oh yeah, so if this is 10,000 pesos, then you'll be paying this. It literally was between $5 to $100 off. I mean, $50 to $100 off. Because that person had programmed this conversion rate in their head, and we ain't been at 22 conversion rate for years, right? And that's just one of many examples. So I'm not saying this to say that being an expert at something is not valuable. Of course it is. I'm saying it to say that just starting is also just as valuable. It just depends on who your audience is. And so I really wanted to get that out. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because I also get people asking me, how do I start? Like, what do I do? What's the first step? Like, sometimes people give me so much information and I don't know how to decipher it. Listen, you go on Instagram right now, it's going to give you 20 different facial routines and you don't know what to choose, and your face is going to be looking like an avocado because you didn't try out each and every one of them. So it is a lot of information and it is really difficult to decipher. Yes, pumpkin pie. You want some more cereal? What?
I want to learn the milk off.
Use that white one right there. Okay, shake it out. All right, there you go. And then when you finish, can you shut the door, baby?
Yeah.
Mommy's almost done. Thank you, I appreciate it. So yes, so sometimes there is so much information that you're inundated and you don't know what to do. So I came up with just four because I also get inundated, overstimulated by a vast amount of information, and it causes me to completely shut down. Like I can't. I'm the person who struggles with people pleasing, indecisiveness. You know, it's all in the bubble of ADHD, right? And so don't give me 8,000 choices. I don't know which one to choose. I'm just start twitching. So I only wanted to give 4 things that I believe this is the stuff that you should do now based off of my experience that is fresh, that just happened. I've only been in Mexico for 4 months, and so this stuff has just happened. So number 1 is mindset. And don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me. When I used to hear YouTubers and people on Instagram and social media platforms say mindset, it really irritated me because I'm like, can you be more specific? Like, what do you mean? What does that mean? How? When? Such and such and such and such and such and such. I could not stand when people say that. But mindset is one of those things. Mindset is one of those things where you don't know until you know. Give me 1 second. My kids want some more cereal. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So yes, so I used to get really upset because I really never understood what that meant. Like, what do you mean mindset? And like I said before, it's one of those things that you don't know until you know. And the thing with mindset is you have to have an open mind for this process. You have to be able to be flexible. You cannot be inflexible. If you are inflexible, the moment something goes wrong or doesn't go as planned is the moment you're gonna like throw your hands up and be like, oh my God, or get frustrated with the process. And the process is frustrating enough so that it doesn't need any more help. You know what I'm saying? So start working on your mindset to 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 just believe that you can do something different, you deserve something different, and you can accomplish something different, that you can accomplish a different way of life if that is what you want. Society, especially with Black women, especially with Black single mothers, has made us believe that the only way that we are accomplished is if we are doing everything at 100%. Black women do not get to be human. People call me a superhero or a super mom all the time. Not a superhero, a super mom all the time. And I hate it. Don't call me that. Don't call me that, because there is no rejoicing in me being overworked, exhausted, tired, having way too much on my plate, mental overload, sad, depressed, anxious, because that's all that comes with being a super mom, being a super woman. That is not that's not something that I want to hear. And so I want us to be able to just really open ourselves up to the possibility that our life will look differently, and that is okay. And that is okay. Yes, Pumpkin?
Mom, I love you so much.
I love you too. Can you shut the door and let me finish this video, and then I'll come right back in.
I'm gonna say those.
Oh, okay. You getting your toys? So yeah, you really do have to change your mindset. I think the biggest mindset shift for me is cutting out negative thoughts as soon as they appear, right? Self-limiting beliefs, cut them out. Quieting the negativity and the haters, because not everybody is going to like what you're doing. People are going to feel threatened by you just doing what you're doing. People feel like you are abandoning them, or you are abandoning your race or your culture somehow by wanting a better life. Like, they want you to fight the fight of something that you didn't even cause. Like, they want you to be a martyr. And sometimes, without even realizing, people will put that responsibility on you, and that don't belong to you. That don't belong to you. So, changing your mindset, allowing yourself to believe that you deserve more, you're worth more, is very important. Malaya, you're going to have to go inside until Mommy's done her video. Okay? Did you hear me? Malaya? Do me this. Go inside, baby. I'll be done shortly. Hold on, y'all. If in your mind you believe that there's something that you can't accomplish, then you won't accomplish it. You have to be your biggest cheerleader no matter what happens. No matter what happens. I kept telling myself over and over and over again, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Most of the times I didn't even know how I was going to make it happen, how it was going to work out, what was the logistics, which is the reason why I'm such a stickler of not conforming your mind to believing that there has to be this specific plan and it has to go without a hitch, because that is the way you get into being stuck, inactivity, no productivity. And so I had to continue to tell myself that over and over and over. In order for you to actually make this happen, you are going to have to change your mindset. Guys, I'm going to say this and then I'll move on. Having familiarity is comfortable, right? And change is uncomfortable. But it's also a necessity. There is no growth in staying the same. I mean, it's impossible. Science tells us that our bodies grow, our bodies change, our minds change. We have to embrace change, and we can't embrace it with a fine-tooth comb like this is supposed to happen when this, not. No. We have to embrace change, and it's going to be uncomfortable. If you start to tell yourself that, like if you start to tell yourself, it's going to be uncomfortable, I know it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm okay with sitting in discomfort, then you're well on your way. I was completely okay. Okay, baby, I love you. With being uncomfortable. I was okay with it. It was uncomfortable, but I knew it was coming, and I kept telling myself, I'm going to be uncomfortable, this is going to be uncomfortable, and I'm okay with it. So the second thing I will say to do right now is to get a passport. So,
Mama?
yes.
Always leaving.
Lele, why are you leaving? Yeah, because I'm doing a video. So can you give mommy some time, and then I'll come in and talk to you, give you a big, nice hug and a kiss, okay? All right? It's okay if mommy has some time to herself. It's okay. All right? So as soon as I'm done, I'm going to come in and come give you a big old hug and kiss, okay? Thank you. Go ahead and shut the door, please. Nobody talks about the emotional transition that your children take when they move abroad. I just never hear it. I never hear it, but it's been one of the most loudest things that has come up in my journey is how do I support my children's emotional well-being? And I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but I promise I will make a U-turn. I get so many comments that I need to shut my kids up and I need to discipline them and they need to be on a schedule and they need to be quiet. I cannot tell you how many adults want you to silence a child as if their voice doesn't matter, as if they didn't just make a whole entire a transition. And as a mother, as an adult, how do I give them the emotional support that they need? Nobody talks about it, but I'm here to tell you, it's real. It is real. Your children need emotional support, especially when they move to another country. And I'll leave that there. That is another video that I will definitely do, but I'll leave it there. So, I was talking about passports. Guys, it is imperative that you have a passport. I've said this many, many times. As a matter of fact, I wrote an ebook called Obtaining Mexican Residency on a Tight Budget, and I urge everybody that is considering moving abroad, get this ebook. It's not just about obtaining residency. It has a wealth of information in it. And one of the topics that I talk about is how important it is to have your U.S. passport and how we don't understand the privilege that we have. I basically said the amount of countries that we can just show up to and say, here you go. You know, there are countries that they have to get approved United States is one of them. You can't just come into the United States. There is a lot of legalities. There's a lot of logistics, politics, whatever you want to call it, surrounding being able to just come into the United States. So we don't understand our privilege. So understand it, start to understand it, and then start to partake in it. There was an article on the media. I forget which platform, that I think I saw it on Instagram, that basically said that the rich are now obtaining their second passport because they are uncertain with the United States economic stability. Now that should tell you something. If that does not tell you something, let me tell it to you. Get your passport now. If the shit hits the fan and you need to get out, how are you going to get out? Some people believe, and I've said this many, many times, and I will continue to say it, and I'm sure I'm going to start to hear it more and more and more because I've been saying it a lot, that it's not enough to have medical insurance. It's not enough to have life insurance. People want to talk about, oh, I got life insurance, I got medical insurance, I got this insurance, I got that insurance. Well, you're insured in the United States. Where is your insurance if the United States turns its back on you and changes the law, which they can do at the drop of a hat? I mean, history has shown that when they don't like something, they just change the laws. They don't care what the people say. This is not a democracy. It really isn't. But I'm sure somebody's going to fight me on that. I'm not trying to get political at all. I'm just saying that if the United States decide to change their rules, to change their laws, then what is your insurance to be able to get out? And I don't want you to wait until the shit hits the fan. Like, do it now. Don't wait until offices is inundated. Don't wait until they lose all their workers. Because, honey, you know it's coming, okay? They dropping like flies. The postal workers are dropping like flies. Don't wait until that happens for you to say, oh, now I need to get my passport and I need to get out. I also want to bring this up, and this may ruffle a little bit of feathers, is that it's not enough for you to just have your passport, because when something hits the fan and you need to get out and your children need to get out, they're not going to get amnesty because you have a passport. They're not going to just say, oh, okay, you can go too. That's not going to happen. So don't get caught in a situation where you're forced to choose whether you go or you stay because your children don't have a passport. Make sure you get your passport. Also, in my ebook, I inserted an interest form. I'm working on a community to help Black people obtain their passport. Almost half of American citizens do not have a passport. Almost half, which is jarring. And of that, the African American minority are of the highest that do not have a passport. That doesn't surprise me. Of course, it doesn't surprise me. But we need to do better. And I have not seen any programs that is focused on helping Black people obtain their passport. When I got a passport for me and my 4 children, it was expensive. I want to say it was like $1,200 for everything. And that doesn't include like the passport photos. That doesn't include getting your birth certificates, copies of them. That doesn't include getting your birth certificates apostilled. So it is very, very expensive, especially if you are in financial need. So if you need help obtaining your passport, please reach out to me via YouTube. My email address at BlackMomAbroad@gmail.com is on my YouTube channel. There is a way that you can reach out to me. I'm going to have a newsletter up and running soon. Y'all, I got children and I'm doing all this myself. So I'm going to have it up and running soon. And one of the things that I will talk about is this program and how I'm going to construct it to try to assist my people, my sisters, my brothers, to get their passport. So get your passport. It is the life insurance policy, because if something happens and you're stuck in a country that has shown hate towards you, has shown violence towards you, has discriminated against you, has oppressed you, suppressed you, violated you, been violent towards you, it don't matter how good your life insurance is. It don't matter how good your medical insurance is. I forget. I think, I don't want to mess her name up, but oh my God, she talks about toxic jobs. I can't believe I can't believe I do not know her name, but somebody knows it. I think it's Dr. Imani. So if somebody knows it, put it down in the comments and I'll see if I can look for that video. But she says all the time, if the insurance, if you have to use the medical insurance that you have because you are sitting in a toxic and unsafe environment, then that should say something. So it's not always about whether you have insurance. It's the fact that why should you have to use it? If you're, I think she said if your job is, that's what it is. She talks about toxic jobs and getting out of toxic jobs. Dr. Imani or something. Kimani. I don't want to mess up her name. I really don't. It's at the tip of my tongue. I hate when that happens. But she talks about if the toxic job is making you utilize the insurance that they are giving you that you are stuck on, then maybe it's a toxic job that you should get rid of. And I look at the United States as a toxic job. It is a well-oiled machine. If it's causing you to want to get every single type of insurance, then maybe you should get rid of that toxic, well-oiled machine. And so passport is your insurance. It is a prime part of your insurance packet. All right, let me move on because I can talk about that for hours. So number 3, getting a remote job. Now, when I say this, I think people think that getting a remote job is way more difficult than what it is, but it is not that difficult. I'm going to tell you what to do right now if you're starting at ground zero. If you have a resume, I don't care how old it is. I don't care, right? Go to Fiverr. Fiverr is a freelance website, app, whatever you want to say, that basically regular people like you and me, or people who are talented or do this for a living, whatever the case, they will create you a resume, they will create you a cover letter, they will create you a LinkedIn page, they will optimize your page, and it can be anywhere from $10 to $100. Now, you get what you pay for. People stop believing that you're going to get something of value for $5. If it's valued at $5, it's valued at $5. You're not going to get a millionaire speech on a $5 piece of paper. It's not going to happen. So if you want a good job and you are, wanting a good position, make sure that you're paying for what you actually want. But go to Fiverr, have them do your resume, have them do your LinkedIn. Okay, start reaching out, making connections with people on LinkedIn where you want a job. Ask them questions, genuinely ask them questions, interact with them, get them to talk to you so that you can pick their brain. But don't just pick their brain, also be able to kind of give valuable information to them. Nobody likes to feel like they're used, and nobody likes to feel like you're only here just to get as much information from them as possible and not give anything in return. Like, nobody wants that type of transactional relationship. So do that. Once you get your resume, so I always say, with getting a remote job is quality and quantity. Quality first and then quantity. So get your resume to a point where the quality is where it's at, where you want it to be, where you're comfortable, right? And then once you have that resume, quantity. Send your resume to 10 to 15 different jobs a day. Just send it. Send it. Tweak it. Tweak the companies. Look up the companies. Put something in there really, really quickly. And send it to 10 to 15 different companies. Okay? Depending on the job that you want, go to ChatGPT and type in the search bar that please provide me with 10 questions, 10 interview questions for this particular situation, this particular job, however you put it. And ChatGPT will give you 10 interview questions that is most commonly asked for this particular position. Once you have those questions in hand, print them suckers out, give them to your friends, give them to your family, and tell them to interview you. Tell them to do mock interviews every day if you need to. It is a muscle. It needs to be worked. If you want the job, then you'll do that. Also, understand that because a lot of people say, well, remote jobs don't pay as much, they don't pay as much. Well, that's not entirely true. Because we see people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars in remote jobs. But if you are entry level and you want a remote job, then you're going to get entry level money, right? For me, for instance, I cut my salary 50% by taking the remote job. But here's the kicker. I save more money now than I've ever saved making 50% more. Though some of you may not know, but I've been a nurse. I've been a nurse for 17 years, right? I don't just speak this stuff. I kind of know stuff, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I've been a nurse for 17 years. And so I was making good money and I still was broke. It's a reason why they say nurses are broke, right? It's true. Most nurses are broke. But why? It's not because they've never had any money or they don't come across money. It's because they've always came across with a lot of money. And money has been very indispensable. Like you get it, spend it, you get it, you spend it, you get it, you spend it. No harm, no foul. But what happens with that is that you become unresponsible. You start having habits that aren't good habits because you don't have a budget. You're not looking at what you spend. There's a lot of things behaviors that you learn. Bad behaviors, for lack of a better word, because I hate using bad. Behaviors that you learn along the way because you've always had more money. Moving abroad has helped me focus on what behaviors was killing my dream of retiring at 45. I don't want to work till I'm 60. I don't. I'm not talking bad about anybody, but I don't want to work until I'm 60. So, it has caused me to look at my finances, like making a lot less. Now, I will make more in the future. No doubt about it. I'm putting it out in the atmosphere. I will make more in the future. But some people want to make more tomorrow and they don't even know how to manage what they make now. So for me, making 50% less and coming to a country where I literally had to figure it out, sit down, go through my bills, learn the basic steps of budgeting, the basic steps of financial literacy was probably the best thing I could have ever done in my entire life.
Mommy,
yes,
Mommy just asked me, he be boring, but he make a mess of my cereal.
She make a mess?
And I'll get some more. He thinks it's too much for me, and I could get a tummy ache. No more cereal.
Okay, you can have the bowl that you have now, and then after that, no more.
Okay.
Malaya?
Mommy, call
Come here, Lele. Sorry, y'all. So yes. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Baby, don't tell her what she can and cannot eat. Do you want someone to tell you what you cannot eat? You would like to have the freedom to eat what you want, right?
But Mia gets too much cereal in the bowl.
I understand. I understand your concern. But mommy told her that that's the last bowl that she can get, okay? All right? So that's it. That's it. That's her last bowl, okay? Okay? All right. Mommy's almost done her video. Okay? Just want to be seen. All right.
I'm just a bit sleepy.
Huh?
I'm just a little bit sleepy.
You just a little bit sleepy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Mommy's almost done. Oh, girl. You sweaty.
Hey, I'm not sweaty.
All right, Malay, go in so I can finish the video. Alrighty, so yes. So don't get caught up on the amount of money. Now I know you're like, don't get caught up. I need to know what money I can make. Your money goes further when you're in a country. Now capitalism is everywhere, but it permeates the United States. They don't care anything about you. All they care about is your money. Okay? And the United States is ridiculous, and they have lied to us. They have bamboozled us. They are cheating us. They are cheating us. They are cheating us so that 1% of the population can live their lives like kings and queens. And you should be able to live your life in peace and in abundance. And so you got to figure out a way where you can do that for you. You have to figure out a way where you can do that for you. Okay, this was supposed to be a short video. So number 4, the last thing I will say is I would encourage you to start to get into Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups now. Why do I say that? Well, they have a wealth of knowledge. They consist of not just people who have that expertise, has been abroad for years and years and years, but they also consist of people that are just coming. They consist of people from both ends of the spectrum. So you get a lot of information from just sitting back. Like, you don't even have to interact. I recommend you interact, but you can get a lot of information by just sitting back and reading. And don't just be a part of one group in one country. Like, if you don't know where you're gonna go, like, I am a part of Costa Rica because Costa Rica is my first love, right? But I ain't got Costa Rica money. Let me be very clear about that. I don't have Costa Rica money yet. But in oh my God, I want to say, and this is why I tell y'all that manifestation really works. And I know that people say this and it probably irritates you because you're like, oh, I've been manifesting. But sometimes y'all manifest with your mouth and then stab your manifestation in the back with your head, with what's going on in your head and or your actions. So your manifestation has to all be in one. And I'm not saying that you have to always know or understand, but you have to believe what you're saying, even if you don't know how. Back in, I want to say 2017, but I want to say that it was even further than that. I have to figure out what year that was. But I went to Costa Rica and I felt like home. I don't know what it was. At that moment, in the back of my mind somewhere, it was implanted that I will not be living in the United States forever. Anyway, I'm getting off a track. So be a part of different expat groups, because you may start out in Mexico and you may not like it. And then all you did was research Mexico and interact with people in Mexico. And now 7 months later, 8 months later, a year later, you don't want to be in Mexico, which is fine. I would suggest multiple countries. Like I'm in Costa Rica, I'm in Panama, I'm in Mexico, I'm in different parts of Mexico. I'm in I think South Africa, Portugal. I'm in a lot of them because I don't know where I'm going to end up. Part of the process, part of the journey, which I absolutely love, is that you get to make shifts. Like when people tell you that you should know this and this and this and this, reject that. Reject that. That's some white supremacy stuff that they constantly put on black women. If you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like where you are, you can move. You don't have to get to a level of struggledom and a level of I'm tired and a level of I can't take this no more to pivot. You can pivot right now. So get into different groups, interact with people, read the questions, listen to the questions, talk to people, start to build your community now. This is something I did not do that I wish I had done. Start to build your community now so that when you get here, you have people that are waiting for you and that say, I got you, boo. And not because just of transactional, but because you have been talking to these people, you have made a relationship with these people, you now have a level of trust with these people. Now, I always say, use your discernment. Use your discernment because everybody who say they are one thing does not mean that they are that one thing, okay? And so I did a video about conversing with someone on Facebook, on a Facebook group, and that someone wind up sending me a lot of hate mail and a lot of despicable things. So use your discernment. Don't be afraid to ask around, like, have you ever talked to this person in public? This person, like, don't be afraid, and take what you need and spit out the rest. Take what you need and spit out the rest. So that's basically it. So let me recap of the 4 things that I think you should do right now if you are considering moving abroad. Number 1 is make sure your mindset is correct. Not correct, but make sure you have the right mindset. Make sure you're open and flexible. Number 2, please go get your passport. Do that right now. Like, get your passport. Number 3 is work on getting a remote job and stop thinking it's harder than what it is, because it's not. Right? Right? Remote jobs it's not too late. That's what I'll say. It's not too late to get a remote job. And number 4, interact with these Facebook and WhatsApp communities way before you get here. I wish I would have did this a year before I actually came. That way I would have had communities looking for me regularly, talking to me, because it's really easy to get here and be in complete solitude. Now, I do believe that some people may need that. I absolutely needed that. I still need it for my healing. But other people don't. But I am an introvert at heart, and so I don't need to have a lot of people around me all the time. I have my select few, and then that's it. But I know that I'm different from everybody else. We are all unique in our own way. So yeah, those are the 4 things that I would say to do right now. So guys, that's it. That is the video. Thank you for watching. Please share this with a woman that you feel like can benefit. Comment, okay? Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your thoughts are. Agree, don't disagree on something. All right, gotta go. Until next time. Bye.